What's up everyone, welcome to the vlog. It's day 2 in Santa Barbara. We got a couple exciting things coming up for you today, so stay tuned. We got room service, bacon,
oh, you didn't even get any spinach either.
No, no spinach. No spinach. Hey, Hilton, you're disappointed. You're disappointed. We pay good money to stay here. I asked for spinach, and what is this? This is not, this is potatoes, bro. Alright, we out of here. We're gonna go interview like this bishop guy. I think like he's like super big in like Jewish religion or something, I don't know. But hopefully it will be fun. Thanks for the bad breakfast, Hilton, but everything else was pretty fine. I'll see you guys there. Who's dude? Got his 4 pairs of shoes for one night. Has 8 hats in that bag. Oh my god.
Talking shit.
You want right now? Do you have a coffee yet?
You ready to go? Where'd you guys go?
I had I did my trigger session this morning and had 4 egg yolks for the cholesterol. Post-workout.
The losing formula.
Where? Here?
Yeah, I did it. Where you get that coffee, Justin?
In that bar area that's like in front of the breakfast.
I have a lot of work to say. Get ready to do our interview with Bishop Barron. It's gonna be freaking awesome, man.
Stomp down. Oh, damn it. There we go. Vlogger life, huh?
2201 Laguna Street.
We on the way. We're out here. Some Santa Barbara mission. What are we doing?
We're actually on a mission to convert Sal to
Convert Sal to Team Jesus.
So we're bringing in the big guns. We're bringing in, that's right, Bishop Barron, and we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see how Sal transforms right before your eyes.
Operation Save Sal.
Who's the one that found Bishop Barron?
Team Jesus!
The office? Not sure where we're supposed to.
Look at this dude.
Okay, is this office above it? Is that the right place? Oh, Port. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't say Porter's office. We're at the entrance gift shop.
Bro, I am not religious at all. I don't know if I feel holy though. Is that a thing? I'm starting to feel fulfilled. Give me a behind the scenes tour of the Santa Barbara mission. So right here we have a statue of some guy. You know, I don't know, he's probably killed, like they all are. And then we have 4 mind pump guys. Boy. No, I don't think anyone ever gets to go back here. So this is pretty interesting, huh? Right here we have the very first fire hose in existence, built in 300 BC. Yeah, it's crazy, right? That's how old this church is.
Just need chairs and maybe a table or something there?
Yeah, now we have this little
Yo,
studio
he's
here.
all legit and everything.
Oh, dude, that production all the way, buddy.
Look at this.
Some serious cameras.
Got some serious church dough out here. It's pretty impressive.
I think that he's read a couple more books on it.
Just a little, bro. He actually reads on it.
Of course, dude. Don't make it to a bishop. You gotta read all the books inside your library.
Yeah. Who's George Weigel? I feel like I should know that guy. One moral life in Christ. The city of God against the pagans. Saint Teresa. Bro, these are like authentic. These are real custom ink tat, dude. This guy has the authentic. About to take this chair, boom gang. Boom gang, boom gang. Sorry, church. What do you got?
It's a Pope action figure.
What the?
That's awesome.
Our guy is reading atheist books, so we know he's not just a devout believer.
You guys got a man by.
The boys getting ready for the podcast. This is what it looks like when we're doing an interview. In case you're wondering, we got our audio set up. We got Doug talking to us, and them all screaming out loud. Exactly. Oh, I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself.
Okay, you don't hear yourself at all?
No.
It is.
I hear adjustments.
One of the things I think Paul's pretty open about it.
Water would be great. And
Good. So you guys came from where?
San Jose.
From San Jose.
Yeah.
Okay. If you drive down, you find.
We did. We drove down.
Yeah, nice drive.
It's not too bad.
5 hours.
Yeah.
101 says a beautiful drive.
Do you think one of
You know, we came out and kind of called a lot of that stuff out. That's how we gained a lot of our traction. We didn't monetize at all. We came out just providing free information, and we all had other businesses, so it was okay. We didn't have to make a lot of money doing it.
Your Excellency?
Bishop B.
Bishop B.
Yes, I like that.
Superficial. Everyone's going to read it. Oh, we can't have that.
Yeah.
Because they were used to communicating within a very small world. And then, of course, I get that. That's the sort of academic culture and so on. So it's a good comparison with the printing press. It really popularized and democratized communication. Now, I mean, a fortiori with the social media, we have this huge capacity to reach out to everybody. So that's the danger. And, you know, serious-minded Catholics would say, some of them would say, you're going to trivialize, you're going to flatten things out. But see, my wager has been, and I think it's valid, that you can do it in a way that's not trivializing. So my YouTube work, I've always tried to make it substantive. It's not, you know, a treatise of 25 pages. It's not a book. But I think at the same time, it's not superficial. It's not trivial. I'm trying to do it seriously, but in short enough compass and in an attractive enough way that people will watch. And I think that's been proven to be true, you know, 32 million views later. So that was a wager I made a long time ago, and I think it's paid off.
Exists, and if he's all loving, why is there so much evil and terrible things in the world? Why did that exist if he's there? And I always feel like the atheists will present that as one of their strongest arguments.
Well, it is a strong argument. It's an old argument. Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century, you know, when he writes, he'll always list the objections first. So the position he's going to take. But then there's the objections. Like, well, people say there is no God because. Well, and Thomas makes that very argument. He'll say, if one of two contraries be infinite, the other would be destroyed. If there was an infinite heat, there'd be no cold. That's his example. So he goes, well, if God is described as the infinite good, then there should be no evil. But there is evil. Therefore, there's no God. Well, that's a good argument. That's a very pithy argument. Thomas Aquinas states that in the 13th century. So my point is, it's a very old objection that we've been, you know, wrestling with. And I'd say certainly from an emotional standpoint, I totally get it. Any one of us, we've all lived through suffering. Everyone, you know, to the age of 10 or whatever, you know about the suffering of the world. I was a pastor for many years, a parish priest, you know, and you deal all the time with people who are suffering. And trust me, every one of them at some point will say, how could this be? Why is this the case? I mean, so it's an old question. It's a question of enormous emotional power, which I totally get. But let me just say something from a strictly kind of rational standpoint. From a strictly rational standpoint, it's not a good argument. Now, why? Because the first premise of it has to be there is senseless suffering in the world. Then the second premise would be, but God is all good and all loving and all powerful, and those two are irreconcilable, therefore there's no God, see? But the first premise is predicated upon the assumption that we understand all of space and all of time. See what I'm saying? For us to say, oh, that's senseless suffering, it makes zero sense. There's no justification for that suffering. We have to have a completely godlike command of all of space and all of time. To see every consequence, every circumstance, every result. But see, because we don't have that view. We have a little tiny swatch of reality that we see. A little tiny bit of space and time that we see. Certain evils. To bring about a greater good. To permit a greater good. That we can't see. I mean, even in principle, we can't see it. But that God allows evil so as to bring about a greater good. Now, that's the classical response to the objection. Not that God produces evil, but God permits certain evils to bring about greater good. There's no humanism anywhere on offer that could be greater than Christianity. Because of what I just said, God became one of us that we might become sharers in God's nature.
That started making me kind of look at things a little bit differently. And
you know this name John Polkinghorne? You ever hear the name?
No.
Go get his books.
Okay.
John Polkinghorne is still alive, a Cambridge particle physicist, a high level quantum physics guy. At midlife, he's like 45 or so, married guy, and all that. He's an Anglican. He decides, I'm going to become a priest.
Wow.
And it's a very interesting story. He becomes an ordained priest, and then he writes, I think, very compellingly on religion and science.
Interesting.
And precisely the point you're making, that how the quantum world, he felt opened up the possibility of religion.
Yeah.
It didn't close it down.
That's what we found that a lot with. I mean, we have being in a science field, right? We meet a lot of scientists and brilliant minds.
Yeah.
And the smarter and the deeper they all tend to go. It's funny, and most of them start off the same way, atheists, and they kind of come full circle because it gets to a point where it's like,
get him, John Polking. It's funny.
Let's write it right
I'm
down.
trying to write it down.
Look it up. What? Polking, PolkingHorne.
Yeah, I was raised Catholic, and seeing all the the way they do things in the church, and everybody stands up, everybody sits down. And as a kid, I was always very skeptical of things, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous." Then I found you, and I started. I watched your Catholicism series, and part of me was upset that it was never explained to me that way, and part of me was very happy that I had found that someone is doing it that way. So I think you're doing this phenomenal.
I think two churches has been intellectually non-stimulating for me for a long time.
And it's so crazy because we Catholics, we have this really rich intellectual tradition. And
right, that blew me away when I learned that.
Yeah, but see, we muted it. That's what so said. That you're Italian. You've got it in your blood. And Thomas Aquinas. You could be Thomas Aquinas' nephew. That drives me crazy because we muted it after Vatican II. That's a whole other story. And we go, no, I don't want that stuff. We want,
Well, the fitness and health world is prime for, evangelization.
I agree.
More people are like, no, we don't want that type of religion. We want something robust.
Just wrapped up with the bishop. Great conversation. He made me realize a lot of things that I'm going to share later on with you guys. I'm excited to share with you guys what thoughts that I have about religion and spirituality that I've never really come to fruition myself. So stay tuned. We're on the way home now. Back home to the bay. Let's get it, man. Pit stop number 1. We're at Cool Hand Luke's Steakhouse and Saloon.
Thank God.
Adam likes to get it down at Saloon, so that's why we're stopped here.
Ready for this?
That move.
Stick the youngster in there. Stick the youngster in
there. Youngin, you get in.
What the?
Yeehaw!
Sorry, you wasn't on one of these. You ever been on one of these? Never heard of it.
Tri-tip and asparagus.
You got the same thing that Sal's with.
Just waiting on that side of broccoli.
Excellent, thank you. Oh, and it is real butter, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't. I got you real butter.
Oh, you rock.
It's across the freeway where that coffee is.
Our shorts are similar. We actually are like, you're like evil and I'm good. Pretty much how that worked. All colors.
We out of here. Like 3 hours away from home. We're right by San Luis Obispo. You guys have a good trip?
Yeah, we did, man. It was a good one.
You have a good trip?
I feel like it was very enlightening.
Feeling?
Yeah, very interesting to see the dynamic shift a little bit into the fireproof realm.
Team Jesus, bro.
Marianne and Wanda were the best of friends.
Oh shit! I know this song. Listen to the whole song. What it's about.
Both men so down.
We made it back to San Jose. It's 6 o'clock. We left at 1. Now not that bad of a drive. We're at a gas station right now. I'll talk to you guys when we get back to the studio. Made it back to the studio, 6:30 p.m. Feels good to be back. I'm about to go smash my legs in a leg workout because I'm trying to win this competition, you know. I gotta put in maximal effort. And I'll see you guys when I get home.
Hey guys.
Goodbye everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright, see you later. Thanks, Enzo.
See ya.
I was packed. I had to pack my bag for.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good job, Enzo.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
Just got home from the gym. I'm dead. Went extra hard today. Smashed some legs. Gonna make some dinner now. It's like 8:30. See you in a sec. Alright. Got some chicken on the barbecue. Just got back from Santa Barbara. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the guys because I know they're gonna watch this. I really appreciate everything you've done for me this summer and that you allowed me to come on this trip, and it was such a great experience and I actually learned a lot in the day that we were there. Now I want to talk about today's interview and my stance on religion and spirituality and everything, because I don't really, it's not part of my life. I'm 17. I was baptized Catholic, but I've been to church twice, and that wasn't even with my family, that was with some friends, and I'm not communioned or anything. And religion and spirituality has just never been a part of like who I am as a person. And so today's conversation with the bishop, just listening in, was interesting because one of the points that he and the guys drives home is that like however much wealth, power, like honor, and there's one more thing that I'm forgetting that you have, nothing can fill your heart like spirituality and a connection with God. Which is interesting because I've never even, like in my life, I've never felt it necessary to be spiritual or to be religious or to be connected with God. And so it's interesting to me for them to say that you have to be spiritual in order to be fulfilled, because I feel pretty fulfilled now and I don't have any sort of relationship with God, with a higher being. I don't practice any religion at all. I'm pretty agnostic. Like maybe I believe that yeah, something somewhere started everything with the Big Bang, because just realistically speaking, something can't come from nothing unless another power is acted upon it. And so it's interesting to me how the Baron and Sal, they were both discussing how it's not the same. You can't have a relationship with God unless you practice it. But to me, it seemed like the Baron was trying to say that you have to go to Mass and you have to go to church to have a relationship with God, which seems weird because I'm not sure how these people in this church can claim they have a higher relationship with God and then say that their way is the only way to have a relationship. And I understand church in the definition of the Bible is just one or two people coming together or more and talking about the Bible, but the way like the bishop put it, it was Sunday Mass is the true feeling of love and fulfillment in spirituality. And for me, that's just, it's interesting because like I've never really given myself time to think about what spirituality and fulfillment is, because I've never felt the need to. But now like my best friend is Jewish and he's practicing, and so it's interesting for me to see their traditions and their holidays. But also being baptized as a Catholic, I would like to experience church and this Mass and this feeling of love and spirituality and see if that it really fulfills me, because if it does, then it could be a missing piece inside of me. But if it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to continue looking, and hopefully one day that I'll fulfill myself and create a relationship of spirituality with a higher power, if there is one. I'm sorry if that didn't make any sense, but if you made it this far, just want to say thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate all 130 of you. That's crazy. It's been 1 week, guys. 1 week. Hold on, let me check my chicken. Okay, time to flip this guy. It's been 1 week, and for you guys to stick with me has been crazy, and I don't want to get off this journey because I'm having a lot of fun. So if you guys like my videos, if you like the content that I produce, just leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends, keep me growing, leave a comment. Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.